Authority. So yeah, I joined recently about 2-3 months back as a director, but earlier I worked as a chief city planner for Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation. So this is about my brief introduction. So welcome you all. I will be basically, I think when my friend May Matthew has asked me about the presentation, giving some presentation about Telangana. So originally I thought that I'll do more on the GHMC where I have worked for last 6, 7, 8 years. So, but I think she wanted something on 74th Constitutional Amendment and urban development authorities. So how the urban development authorities are functioning in Telangana state and similar to that. So maybe I have to slightly, maybe I have to slightly reorient my presentation because I'm not worked much in urban development authority, but still whatever I could able to mobilize the information which from my colleagues and other things. So I'm presenting. So here.
Yeah, that was the introduction given by our Devendra, who is my classmate and friend. And now, Devika, can you start the session formally?
Sure, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a new knowledge sharing session organized jointly by the Center for Environmental Efficiency, Kochi, and the Institute of Town Planners, India, Kerala Regional Chapter. Our topic for today is the urban development paradigm in Telangana post the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act. Before we begin, let me just briefly lay down some housekeeping rules. Today's session will extend for a period of 1.5 hours. Towards the end of the session, we shall have an open house discussion during which participants are encouraged to raise their questions. Kindly refrain from asking questions during the presentation. If certain queries or comments are unavoidable, please feel free to use the chat box. We shall get back to your queries at an appropriate time. Second, I request all participants listening in to kindly keep their microphones muted and cameras turned off. This is to avoid any interruptions within the sessions. Thank you all for joining in. I request Dr. May Matthew, Founder Trustee and Chief Planner of the Center for Environmental Efficiency, Kochi, to kindly welcome all our listeners to the session. Ma'am, you are muted.
Mute.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes.
I'm really happy and content to speak now that we could organize this event represented by Center for Environmental Efficiency and the Institution of Town Planners India, Kerala Regional Chapter. I am even more contented that we could arrange S. Devendra Reddy, such an eminent resource person from our neighbor state of Telangana. He is none other than the Director of Town and Country Planning and Member Planner, Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority. At the outset, I wish to talk a few lines on environmental efficiency theory for which we are working hard. And how this today's topic is related to E theory, that also I explained. After that, I will give a brief introduction of the resource person, his qualification, and his what all posts he has served in Telangana. And E theory, E is an index formulated by Center for or myself during my thesis dissertation, which was later continued with a trust formation, and we are working hardly after my retirement from GCDA I'm working hard for that. This is an effective yardstick to measure the human progress in this newly emerged circular economy, where reinstating our negative externalities are also part of our economy and livelihood. That is a trend. After the post-COVID, we are giving too much importance to the circular economy rather than linear economy. Linear economy main concentration was to attain GDP, while in circular economy, we are just repairing and reinstating the negative externalities so that it will also become a part of our livelihood and income and economy. Coming down to local level, cities are the centers of environmental efficiency, where human development is happening with less resources by caring one another and sharing resources. The degree of environmental efficiency determines the quality of life in terms of prosperity and happiness. For each town, we can evaluate, taking certain proxy indicators, we can evaluate the environmental efficiency of the cities. In Kerala itself, we can evaluate and compare the cities on a 0 to 1 scale. Mathematically, we can do it so that we can determine where the shoe pinches, what are modifications have to be done, because this is a comprehensive index which includes health, education, income, inequality, then energy consumption, land, productivity of the land, all these things. So if you want to know more about it, you can visit our website. Now in Kerala, what happened is 74th Constitution Amendment Act in India happened in 1992. And after that, entire urban development of Kerala has been disrupted as DTP schemes were halted on practical terms and development authorities were dampened. Both the development authority as well as town planning department, they are working hard to do something, but somehow it was not synergized in the name of Constitutional Amendment Act. In fact, DTP schemes were the best tool to achieve environmental efficiency in cities by increasing the land utility, accessibility, reducing the per capita built-up, etc. This will, in turn, stimulate the secondary and tertiary economies. Seeing the urban sprawl tendencies in the state, and if we are doing the e-evaluation exercise, I am sure that E has drastically reduced due to the high input cost and lesser output in terms of equitable human development. I personally feel that implementation of TDR policy, spearheaded by a powerful apex organization at the metropolitan regional level, can solve the problems to attain better E for the metropolitan regions, which turns us better E for the state. On a pessimistic scenario, if the present tendencies continue, I must say that we are all losing. Our urban development potential gets attracted to the metropolitan cities of the neighboring states, as the urban development paradigm of those states are different compared to Kerala situation. Now let me introduce our guest speaker, S. Devendra Reddy. He has his qualification Bachelor of Engineering in Civil Engineering from Osmania University. I think it is in the year of 1986 because he joined in SPA along with me in 1986. And he did Master of Urban and Regional Planning from SPA New Delhi and passed in the year 1988. And postgraduate diploma in Environmental Management from IHS Rotterdam, Netherlands in 1999. Sri Devendra Ji has 33 years of experience in Town and Country Planning Department, Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation, Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority, Municipal Administration and Urban Development Department Secretariat in various capacities. At present, he is working as a Director of Town and Country Planning and Member Planner, Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority. And topic of the knowledge sharing session is Urban Development Paradigm in Telangana, post 74th Constitutional Amendment Act. Because I myself insisted that for this heading, that means in Telangana, pre or post Constitutional Amendment Act was not mattered much. But in Kerala, the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act and subsequent changes have affected the state a lot. That is why I purposely put this post 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, because for Kerala, it was something, it changed the scenario. Wholehearted welcome to Sri Devendra Ji to this event and delivering this auspicious lecture. And also, I welcome moderator Sri Vinod Kumar C, town planner. I think I have. Town planner in Chief Town Planner's Office, Thiruvananthapuram. And I welcome Town Planner Sri Vinod Kumar also to do this part, to do his part. There will be open house discussion and questions. I welcome all people who have logged in to attend the session, as no event will be fruitful without audience. But last, but not the least, I welcome CE Trust members as well as ITPA KRC members, and ITPA KRC members headed by Sri P.N. Rajesh and Srimati Raji SS have taken a leading role in organizing this event, and I am very happy about it. And also we have a CE Trust members, CE volunteers, and CE task force members, and for them I have given the links. I don't know who all have joined, but anyway, over to Sri Devendra Ji.
Yeah, thank you, Matthew. So thank you for introducing me. I think since we are already delayed by another 20 minutes, so I'll straight away I'll go to the presentation. So am I audible now?
Yes.
Is it okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So basically, I will have the presentation in 3 parts. I think you're not able to see the. It's not the second part is not moved it. It's still in the first slide only?
Yeah.
Yeah, first slide.
Okay.
Too smart.
Okay. Okay. Now it's good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The presentation will be in 3 parts. One is as said 74th Constitutional Amendment Act. So briefly, I'll tell about the position in Telangana. So I said there is not much, as May has said, it's not much relevance to the Telangana. But anyway, still we will tell about how we have, whether any progress has been made as per the 74th Constitutional Amendment. The second part will be the Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority. Basically, earlier it was the Hyderabad Urban Development Authority, but which was made it into Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority in 2008. Some activities which have been taken up by HMDA will be telling that. And the last one will be the implementation of transferable development rights in GHMC, wherein we have established a DDR bank using the IT-enabled services. So that also we'll discuss at the later stage. So as far as the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, you know that what are the objectives of the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act. Basically, it is aimed to strengthen the local self-government and also to decentralize the municipal functions, and also especially the urban local bodies, giving powers, more powers to the urban local bodies. So it was also intended that all the state government to incorporate the provisions of this Constitutional Amendment Act in their respective state legislations, especially while preparing the development plans for the metropolitan cities. Then the government of India, after the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, at the government of India level, they prepared certain guidelines. You might be knowing UDPFI guidelines. It was prepared in 1996. Duly taking the provisions of the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act. And also, they have also prepared a model regional and town and country planning act in lines with Maharashtra and Gujarat. So they have circulated this model town and country planning act to all the states and to formulate the acts in those lines. And when the JNNURM scheme was in implementation, they also made one of the reform mandatory that they have to constitute metropolitan planning committee and district planning committees as a mandatory reform to access the funds under JNURM. So then lastly, a few states as a part of JNURM, they have constituted NPCs and DPCs, but the functionality point of view, still it is question mark. Like in Telangana, also there was a GO government order constituting metropolitan planning committee and district planning committees, but in practice they are not really functional. So the dual schedule, you know, all the which are the functions which have to be transferred to ULB. So I think most of the functions are already available with municipalities. But one most important thing is that the first one, urban planning, including the town planning. So what the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act intends is that the urban planning or the town planning should start from the municipality, but not by the parasitic agencies like Urban Development Authority or like Director of Town and Country Planning or any other planning agencies. So that is one critical factor which there is a lot of debate and discussion about whether the urban planning or the preparation of master plan to be done by the ULB or by the Urban Development Authority, which has got a wider scope for preparation of a plan for the wider area. So that we will be getting into the next slide. So this is again the Metropolitan Planning Committee. This I have already told you. So there is a provision for Metropolitan Planning Committee which has a composition of both the ULB's local body and also the Grama Panchayats or villages which are located within that urban agglomeration or urban development authority area. So it's like a more of a cooperative team which have to be done at the Metropolitan Planning Committee level, or if it is a district planning committee, then at district planning committee level. So what is the stage of whether we are able to do it or not, I think we will discuss in subsequent slides with regard to Telangana. So before getting into that, I briefly tell about the Telangana urban scenario. So the urbanization, we are slightly below the Kerala, number 3 in all over the country. I think Tamil Nadu is 48.4 and Kerala is 47.7 and Telangana is 46.8. But this 46.8 urban population, it's almost contributes 70% of the Telangana GSDP, the gross state domestic product. Within this 48.8% also, Hyderabad urban agglomeration has got a wider impact. It has got only 5% of geographical area, but it has got 46% of its urban population located within Hyderabad city. And also 2/3 of the state economy comes from the Hyderabad city. So we have at present 142 municipalities and 13 municipal corporations and 11 urban development authorities. So 2 are old, but 9 are recently constituted. So if you look at the Telangana urban administrative framework, on the right side, you see a lot of the statewide agencies like Commissioner, Director of Municipal Administration, Public Health, Director of Town and Country Planning, then Telangana Urban Finance and Infrastructure Development Corporation. These are the state level departments. Then at the Hyderabad metropolitan area level, you have Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation, then Hyderabad Metro Development Authority, and also Hyderabad Metro Water Supply and Sewerage Board, which is looking after exclusively water supply and sewerage board. Then we have the corporations and municipalities, ULBs at different levels. Then we have some special purpose vehicles which have been created for this specific purpose, like Hyderabad Road Development Corporation or Hyderabad Metro Rail, like you have in Kochi Rail. Then Musi River Development Corporation, so like that. This is about basically how the urban administration works in Telangana. It gives a broad picture. Coming back to our urban development authorities, as I said, there are about 10 urban development authorities, 11 urban development authorities. Out of that, Hyderabad and Warangal, they are old. Hyderabad has been constituted in 1975. and Warangal, the Kakatiya Urban Development Authority was constituted in 1981. So rest of the UDS, you see, most of them are constituted during last 6 or 7 years. So the Urban Development Authority, creation of Urban Development Authority has started gaining momentum only after the formation of Telangana state, wherein we have new districts have been formed, and major corporations, for the major corporations, they have created so Urban Development Authority so as to have a planned development around those corporations, including those rural and villages. So what is the uh, uh, relation between the Urban Development Authority, how the functions are shared between Urban Development Authorities and ULBs? So that we will see in the next slide. So as you know, the basically the main function of Urban Development Authorities is preparation of a master plan. It's a planning agency. Whereas if you see the urban local bodies, they are more like a implementing agencies. So whatever the master plan prepared by the urban development authorities is being implemented in the urban local bodies. So here there are certain overlap of functions between both UDS and municipalities, because as far as the urban planning is concerned, so though it is done by the urban development authorities, so the actual implementation is done partly by the urban development authority and partly by the those ULBs. So there is always a conflict between these two bodies whenever there is a relating to the urban planning. So if we go into the, strictly speaking, in the preparation of master plan, the existing Urban Development Authority Act does not give any statutory role of urban local bodies in the plan preparation. So whenever the Urban Development Authority notifies in a master plan, so it's not mandatory that they have to take the council resolution or the municipality resolution. I think the fundamentally this is against the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act. So either the Urban Development Authority Act, which is in force, has to be amended, or we have to bring back that Metropolitan Planning Committee or District Planning Committee, which have been constituted for that consultation with the various stakeholders. So though in the plan preparation, we consult Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority consults the local bodies like Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation or municipalities, but it is more of a consultative thing. It's not a mandatory thing that they have to compulsorily have a consultation, or they have to do that. So these are the basic things about the how the really I can say that as a concluding point regarding the constitutional amendment, we always look at Kerala and West Bengal as the role models as far as the implementation of the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act is concerned, because where there is a lot of public involvement in the plan process, or especially the public participation is much more than in any other states. So before we get it into the next part of presentation, maybe I request if any one of you has got anything to add, or maybe to have any clarification or doubt, maybe I can give you on this first part.
Can the body, sorry, can I ask?
Yeah.
Can,
Yes,
can,
madam.
can the local body object to a plan being prepared by Urban Development Authority? Did you hear?
Yeah. The plan is prepared by Urban Development Authority and notified by the Urban Development Authority with the prior approval of the government. That a plan comprise for the they make proposals for the urban local bodies also, which are located within that Urban Development Authority area.
But since it is not mandatory, that can they object? That their concurrence is not mandatory, then does it happen like that? Sometimes.
At least I don't know. We have not come across any situation like that. So as a body, as a local body, as a council as a whole, objecting for a particular proposal. So far, we didn't come across that situation.
Okay, fine.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah,
Yeah, is it audible?
Yes.
yeah.
In your case, you have a two act. One is Urban Development Authority Act, isn't it? One. And
Yes.
do you have a state Town and Country Planning Act?
Yes.
Yeah, if so, see, where the provision for the preparation of plans, is it in Town and Country Planning Act or Urban Development Authority Act?
The provision for preparation of master plan is there in the Urban Development Authority Act. So for the areas which are falling in Urban Development Authority area, so they have to follow the Urban Areas Development Act, in which there is a clear-cut provision for preparation of master plan. So for the urban local bodies which are falling outside Urban Development Authority area, so we will follow the Town and Country Planning Act for preparation of the master plan.
Okay.
That which there was not much of conflict, and there was synergy in the total development of the state. That's what I understand. Because Urban Development Authority, as well as Town Planning Department, as well as municipal bodies, functioned in tandem.
Yeah.
Sir, can I just
can say-
ask one more?
Yeah.
Sir, how the sharing of these revenues happens in this urban development authorities as well as these local bodies? Whether a percentage of development permit goes to the urban development authority and a part of it goes to local body, like that some sharing mechanism is there for these things?
Yeah, there is a sharing mechanism. Actually, we have the building permission. We have a lot of various charges, fees, and we collect, like we collect development charges, we collect betterment charges. Then we also collect other processing fee and other things. So development charges on the land, whatever the open land or whatever the land which we collect it, so that will go to the Urban Development Authority. So rest of the betterment charges and development charges on the building will go to the municipality.
Is there a sharing of percentage or it's just a
No, that entire
percentage
head,
sharing or just as a account?
no, that entire head of development charges will go to the Urban Development Authorities.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
So basically, you have development charges which are prescribed in the Urban Development Authorities Act, which is meant for development of a city level infrastructure works. So whereas betterment charges are meant basically at the local level. So betterment charges goes to the ULBs and development charges goes to the Urban Development Authorities. So irrespective of whoever gives the permission. So like higher category of the buildings, permissions are given by the Hyderabad Urban Development Authority, any Urban Development Authority, and lower level are given by the municipalities. But whoever gives the permission, but development charges will go to the Urban Development Authority.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
One question: who is the governing body of the Greater Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority? It is a nominated body or elected body?
It's a purely nominated body. At present, Chief Minister is the chairman of the Metropolitan Development Authority, and our municipal minister is the vice chairman of the Hyderabad Metropolitan Development.
But MBC is separate. MBC is separate. There is a separate MBC constitution. MBC,
Greater Hyderabad
Planning Committee.
Metropolitan Planning Committee. That's what I'm saying. Government orders have been issued, but it has not yet been. It's not been made functional as such. It's only there on paper.
One more question: whether your town and country planning is amended based on Constitutional Amendment Act?
No,
No.
there is no amendment as such. But we made an attempt to prepare a comprehensive town and country planning, regional town and country planning act, but somehow it could not come through. So maybe we will again. But in the draft act which we have prepared, we made this constitution amendment provisions as part of that act, including MPC and DPC.
And what is your opinion? Urban development authorities should be there or it shall not be there? What is your personal opinion based on your experience?
I think wherever you have an urban agglomeration growing up, uh, uh, maybe in that case the urban development authorities are required, but not in every case. Actually, what happened, there is a recent trend of creating urban development authorities for rehabilitation of, I should not say, but rehabilitation of some political thing, or to bypass the elected councils also. So I think that should not be our aim. But wherever you have an urban agglomeration which is growing beyond the your urban local bodies, or for the especially for the major metropolitan cities, or for cities having more than 10 lakh population, where the urban sprawl or the horizontal growth of the city is much more beyond the limits of the local body. So whenever a city grows, you have two options. One option is that you increase your urban local body limits, but the increasing of boundary limits has got certain limitations, because you cannot go on increasing the a boundary of the urban local bodies, because which will be very difficult to sustain or maintain. So in that case, the urban development authority will be a better option, that one. But again, there has to be some cautious approach, like it's not that urban development authority create for everywhere, but for the bigger cities, yes, it will definitely help. It will help in creating a better infrastructure. So a simple example is like a project like Outer Ring Road, which you wanted to do it in a big city. So I don't think you can do it in without urban development authority created there, without giving a statutory power to the agency to acquire the land and to take up that work.
Shall I? Actually, in the case of preparation of master plans, actually the democratic process of getting people's aspirations and then their response to their the development pattern, that is not taken care when we are talking about the development authority preparing the plan. In that case, certain cases, it is very difficult for the master, when we give all the power to the councils, that also is the difficult part to convince them in the development project. But in certain cases, their voices also has to be heard. So what is your opinion with respect to that? And that is one part of it. In the implementation of projects, there can be different SPVs or authorities that can be created for that purpose. So that does it suffice the requirement of a local body's power?
I think the consultation with the public or public participation, or that is it. You have to do it, whether it is there in the Urban Development Authority Act or not. Even though it is not mandatory, as I said, even though it is not mandatory, most of the urban development authorities, or whenever we prepare a plan, we consult the urban local authorities and take their opinion. But it's not that their opinion is binding on the urban development authority. So urban development authority still can overrule the decision of the council or decision of the municipality and send the proposal to the government. So that is one. The second is that the creation of SPVs instead of urban development authorities. I think SPVs have got a limited role in a particular fashion. But when you are looking at an urban agglomeration or developments which are happening beyond the boundary of the local bodies, so you need a planning agency, you need a coordinating agency which has to look into the overall area so as to ensure that that area is developed in a planned manner. Because most of the times what happens is that the area which is under process now or under development, after some years, maybe after 10 years or 15 years, is going to be created as a new municipality or new corporation, or going to be merged with existing urban local body. So these urban development authorities are meant to see that these areas which are a suburban or what we call it is just outside a developed area should have some planned growth, so that when they merge into the urban local bodies, they don't take the problems with them to the existing ULBs. I think that should be the focus. As I said, wherever the area growth is happening, wherever growth is happening beyond ULBs, only in those cases, I think maybe you require urban development, but not in every case you require. So that's where I think the state government or state planning department should come into the force and say that, okay, in this case, it may not be required, or in this case, it is required for the following reasons. But as you said, if you take strictly 74th Constitutional Amendment, so whatever we are doing, the Plan Preparation and the Urban Development Authorities Act will be against the provisions of the 74th Constitutional Amendment. So that lacuna is still, it is there. So somehow we have to work a balance between that 74th Constitutional Amendment and at the same time the plan preparation and approval process.
Okay.
Right. So, if no other question, I think we'll just go to the next part of presentation.
Yes.
Yeah. So I said the Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority. You know, Hyderabad is the capital of Telangana state, and also it was earlier United Andhra Pradesh capital. The Urban Development Authority, originally it was constituted in 1975. So then Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority, the area was enlarged actually. So enlarged, and it was in 2008 they had a separate act, Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority Act. This is different from Hyderabad Urban Areas Development Act. So they have an exclusive act for Hyderabad metropolitan area. So this is about the small plan. So here we have almost we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6 districts, 6 or 7 districts. It covers 7 districts. So it has got one major corporation, Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation, and there are 7 smaller corporations, then 30 municipalities, and 649 gram panchayats, and 1 cantonment board. So these are the, in terms of the local bodies, you can say. So these are the different types of local bodies which this Hyderabad metropolitan area has got. So we have 3 different set of master plans, 5 different set of master plans actually prepared in different periods. In fact, this is one of the major issue which we are now facing with these plans. And now recently we have decided that we will go with a new comprehensive one single master plan. There is Municipal Corporation of Hyderabad, means the core Hyderabad city, for which the master plan was prepared in 2010. Then we have surrounding, there are some 9 or 10 municipalities. For that, the master plan was prepared in 2008. And Cyberabad, where that IT zone and other things, we have a special plan for that. So that was also prepared in 2008 and 2001, sorry. And Hyderabad Airport Development Authority, there is a separate master plan for Hyderabad Airport and the surrounding areas. So that was also approved in 2008. And finally, we have, when we have extended in 2008, the metropolitan area. So for the extended area, we have prepared and sanctioned the master plan in 2013. So this is it. So we have master plans in force in almost all area, but majority of the master plans are now 15 years or 20 years old. So they are now due for revision. So since we have to revise these master plans, so now we have decided that for the entire 7,257 square kilometers of area, so we will have a one single master plan. So which is the process is going to be started in 2024. So these master plans, as I said, again, 30 municipalities, 7 corporations. The consultation was minimal. almost I can say for the smaller municipalities, it's almost negligible, except for Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation. They had a series of consultations with the corporation officials and elected representatives. So as far as the Gram Panchayat is concerned, I don't think we had any formal interaction with the Gram Panchayats or elected representatives of the Gram Panchayats. Cantonment Board, it is outside the master plan, though it was included in Hyderabad metropolitan area, but we didn't have any plan proposals for the Cantonment Board. But as a part of whenever we notify these master plans, so we call for objection suggestions from the public. So that is one way of looking at where we are taking the feedback from the citizens. So all these master plans are notified and put it on public domain, call for objection suggestions, various objection suggestions, we consider it, or if we don't consider it, then we'll inform them that because of this reason, we are not able to consider your objections and suggestions. So that process has been very foolproof. So that's why legally all these master plans stood, and many people went to the court and challenged, and but none of the we didn't had any adverse orders on the sanctions of these master plans. So straight away next, I'll go to the various activities HMDA. As said, HMDA is basically a planning agency. It was intended to, Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority is intended to prepare a master plan and see that the planned development happens in that area. So as a part of that one, so implementation is done through developmental control regulations like issue of building permissions, layouts, and that is one part. The other part is that they also do a lot of projects. So we also develop the Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority develops a lot of townships and housing schemes. So these schemes are basically the lands where government has given land to the HMDA. So for development of these townships and housing complexes. They also build certain commercial complexes so as to have the revenue generation or fixed revenue for the authority. So recent times, we have also started land pooling schemes. So we have already 3 schemes are completed, and another 5 schemes are now under progress. So land pooling schemes, even though we are doing at a slightly slower pace, but I think we are trying to gear up the land pooling schemes and see that the land pooling schemes are implemented in much larger scale. So then also regarding the inner ring road, like whatever the master plan, whatever the ring roads which we propose, so those have also been implemented by the Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority. Then also they develop the logistic parks. So whatever these transport hubs which we propose at the nodes, transit nodes. So that also developed by 2 places. They have developed Mangalampalli and Bata Singaram. So both the places they have already in use now. So regarding the traffic and transportation, they do a lot of HMD has developed a lot of projects, flyovers. So one of the big flyover is PVNR Expressway, PV Narasimha Rao Expressway. This is the longest flyover of the country, about 11.64 kilometers with a 4-lane. I think that time it was longest. I think now a few more flyovers have come longer than this one. Then also at different places, they have also constructed various flyovers. And also Hussain Sagar around that Necklace Road, what we have in a beautiful lake around that Necklace Road is also developed as a part of this one. The other thing which they do, HMD, is a greenery. So as you know, Hyderabad has been rewarded as one of the best tree award. Also, we got it from international agency a few months back, last year, beating France and other cities. So the parks and recreational facility, creation of recreational facilities is one of the major functions of HMDA. So they do a lot of citywide greenery space. They do development, and they also develop a lot of these waterfront developments, which we have the big lakes. So around those lakes, they develop the waterfront parks and recreational spaces. So restoration of lakes is also one of the important tasks of the Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority. There were around 1,435 lakes which are there in the Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority. All these lakes have been mapped and FTLs have been fixed, and conservation and restoration of work of these lakes is under progress. Some of them have already been completed and some of them are under progress. So these are the projects which have already been completed, ongoing projects. So we have recently come up with a big a layout cluster development at outskirts of Hyderabad, but close to Outer Ring Road. So here, when we have auctioned that bits of land, the maximum rate which has gone is very high. It's about 100 crores per acre. So 1 acre has gone for 100 crores. So the potential of Hyderabad has been seen in that auction, public auction, which was conducted by the Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority. As I said, we are also, HMD is also developing a lot of skywalks, basically wherever they have the metro stations. So what we are trying to do is that, so connect these metro stations to the existing bus stations, existing auto stands, or if you have any railway stations. So as to have this multimodal integration, they connect with the skywalks. So already 3-4 skywalks are under progress. So we are expecting to complete it by this year end. So this will also increase the accessibility to the metro stations, especially from the public transportation point of view. As I said, there is an outer ring road which has been developed, completed actually. So around Hyderabad. So whoever has come to Hyderabad, whenever you land onto the airport, you see beautiful outer ring road. So it is about 158 kilometers length. So it's an 8-lane carriageway. So then two additional service roads on both sides, and we have interchanges of 19 interchanges at different locations, and the design speed is around 120 kilometers per hour. So this entire project, the beauty of this project is that this project has been done under public-private partnership. So this is one of the largest project which has been taken up under the public-private partnership. So this has been developed by the L&T. So L&T has been provided with certain land parcels, wherein the L&T has taken up these land parcels for commercial development. So in lieu of this one, so this Hyderabad Growth Corridor, Outer Ring Road has been developed, and they have been given power to levy the toll and other things also. So these are the HMDA works. So before getting into the TDR, I'll also say few projects which have been taken up under Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation. So here we have what we call it as a strategic road development plan. Here it's more of a because since it is a brownfield where you have already developments have come up, so there is not much to do the existing development. It's more of a construction of flyovers, RUBs, ROBs. So there are about 31 flyovers have been constructed, and all of these have been completed. So in fact, these flyovers have made a lot of difference, especially reducing the traffic congestion in high density corridors. We have phase 1 we have completed, and phase 2 again another 36 flyovers, RUBs, ROBs are proposed with a outlay of 4,300 crores. So this is going to be started in coming next year. Then we have the strategic Nala development program. Hyderabad is again lot of whenever heavy rains comes, so there is a lot of flooding is happening, and a lot of low-lying areas are getting inundated. And so for this, we had a program in which called as a strategic Nala development program, in which we had a series of interactions with the stakeholders, including the local corporators, then the citizens and welfare associations. So finally, we had a detailed plan for that. So there are 3 solutions which we have adopted here. So one is basically whatever the drain capacity which is there, so increasing the capacity, the widening of the nalas and other things. The second solution is that you have alternatively bypass the drain wherever it is in a thickly built up area. So where you cannot widen the drain or nala portion. So what we did is that with minimum land acquisition, we try to bypass the drain using the gravity, whatever the contours level, keeping in view of the contour levels. So we made an alternative arrangement for flow of the water. And the third thing, which is very important and which many of the cities actually, I think, could not do it, is the lake management. So many of these lakes, which are located in urban areas, are earlier irrigation lakes. So as the time goes up, when the irrigation, there is no irrigation. So irrigation department as such stopped maintaining these tanks. So especially the gates or sluice gate, whatever, whenever the water comes, they used to open the gates and leave the water to the downstream. But over a period of time, since these gates were not opened or maintained properly, so those were not functioning. So the last year or before last year, what we did is that we could able to install or repair all these sluice gates for all the 175 lakes which are located in Hyderabad, Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation unit. In fact, compared to the before last year, this year actually the flooding is very less, and one of the reason is the lake management policy which we have adopted it. I think after saying this, even I think Bangalore is also doing similar thing. So in fact, Delhi recent floods, one of the reason for flooding of core Delhi, including our ITPI and SPA, is that malfunctioning of the gates which were supposed to open or could not open during these floods. So this is one lesson which we can learn. I think maybe Kerala might be much ahead of us in as far as the water management is concerned, but as far as the urban areas is concerned, I think this is one of the good practice which we have done. As I said, again, short term, medium term, basically pre-monsoon, we take up a lot of cleaning of desilting of lakes and other. This is the short term. Every year we do it. Medium term is basically a removal of encroachments, widening of the nalas and other things. So long term is again you have permeable pavement footpaths, gardens, and creation of a floodplains, which we will be doing it. We have not tried, but we are in the process of identifying those things and doing in the part of the next couple of years. So these are the different works which we have taken up. The last one, as a part of which is very important and which is very interesting, is that the development of link and slip roads. You see, we have seen many structures built across the roads like flyovers, bridges, RUBs, ROBs, but there is also scope for with minimum cost, minimum acquisition of the land, you can develop a slip road or link roads. So these have been identified as a part of when we prepared a comprehensive mobility plan for Hyderabad city about 5 years back. So that time we identified these things, and we also identified certain roads which are under the high tension lines. You might have seen there is a high tension lines which are passing through the cities, across the cities, cutting across the cities. So anyway, we don't allow any developmental activity around those high tension lines. So the acquisition of land is much easier than in other plain areas. So those also have been identified as link roads, missing link roads. And out of 114, 37 roads have been completed. And with one flyover project, which is costing around 100, 112 crores, we could able to develop at least 4 or 5 missing links or slip roads. Thereby the traffic onto the main corridors has been diverted into these new roads. So this has been very successful, and it has been appreciated by all sectors, including industry, citizens, and everyone. So we have phase 1 and phase 2. As I said, for a building up a flyover, which you will take minimum 10 crores. So 570, you will build only 5 flyovers. But with the same amount, I could able to develop around 37, 35 new link roads. The length of these roads are ranging from 500 meters to around 1.5 to 2 kilometers. So in the phase 3, again, we have identified a balance 104. So for that, we require around 2,400 crores. So we are trying to get some funding from the various financial agencies. So once funding is tied up, I think we will be taking up these missing link roads project. So this is basically about the location of these roads where we have developed and discussed that one. So I think this is the end of the second part, where I have told more about the developmental activities which are being taken up by Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority and the Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation. So before getting into the TDR, I think if you have any doubt or anything, so please you can ask.
We have great appreciation for your achievements. That means your state's achievement in the case of urban development, focused development, which is happening here. And we really congratulate you for your achievements, and your career also. It is enriched by such experiences. We are happy to know that.
As I said, the Urban Development Authority basically here, in terms of Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation and the HMDA, both do the work. It's not that HMDA develops things, but the projects which have got a wider influence or wider effect, maybe the metro rail or outer ring road. So those projects are taken up by HMDA. And for a simple construction of a flyover or anything, that's being done by the corporation. And here for the link roads, we have a special purpose vehicle, as I said, SPV, Hyderabad Road Development Corporation. So that has been constituted, and but the land acquisition part is done by the planning wing. I think that is a big achievement as far as the planning wing is concerned, because we could able to provide them the land without spending a single pie. So that we will discuss on the later the TDR.
Sir, you mentioned regarding different agencies, Hyderabad Growth Corridor, Hyderabad Metropolitan Authority, Hyderabad Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation. So which is the agency which is coordinating all this development? Because I can see a huge number of projects being undertaken. So who is the agency? Which is the agency which is coordinating all these?
Yeah, but some of the agencies are under umbrella of Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority, like Hyderabad Growth Corridor, which is looking after the outer ring road, is under the umbrella of Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority. But some agencies like Hyderabad Metro Rail Corporation, which is an independent SPV, but that directly functions under the state government. So the state municipal administration and urban development department coordinates. HMDA has Hyderabad Metropolitan Development has not got much role in controlling that agency, that SPV.
Because maybe here many of the projects are transportation projects, so it should be integrated with the land use. No, so it is done by the Hyderabad Urban Development Authority on the.
No, majority of them, except for, as I said, Hyderabad Metro Rail Corporation. So which has got, as I said, Hyderabad Metro Rail Corporation is also a PPP project. So for that, I think it is outside Metropolitan Development Authority. But rest of the things, like I said, Hyderabad Growth Corridor or Hyderabad Road Development Corporation, they all function under the umbrella of Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority. Except for one or two, as I said, Hyderabad Metro Rail and another one.
So all in line with the master plan.
Exactly, because Metropolitan Development Authority is coordinating, so they look into the entire the master plan thing.
Okay.
In fact, ideally that should be there.
I would like to hear something about Unified Metropolitan Transport Authority. That is also, it is also owned by Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority, I think. No, it's correct.
Yeah. We have a unified metropolitan UMTA. Unfortunately, it's a part of HMD only. But again, it has been constituted a long time back. So they supervised and coordinated the entire our CMP, Comprehensive Mobility Plan for Hyderabad City. But there are other things like UMTA. There is a transport fund which is supposed to be created under UMTA. wherein the advertisement charges, then police fines, and other part of the development charges also should go to the transport fund. That has not happened. So we have created UMTA authority under the umbrella of HMDA only, but the financial powers are not given to the UMTA, you can say. So that dedicated funds, availability of dedicated funds to UMTA, so that part is still we have to do it. So that is the thing. Actually, in our case, it's missing. But we have an UMTA, which actually Chief Secretary is the generally chairs the meetings of UMTA, but secretariat function, everything will be done by the HMDA. And it's very effective. In fact, UMTA meetings are a lot of coordination issues, especially when you do the a big projects like metro. You involve a lot of other departments like forest, R&B, and building department. The various actually the chief secretary coming to be there. Other department secretaries may not leave the department secretary. That's the UMTA under the chairmanship of chief secretary. That is very good thing which has happened.
So how many planners are working in this HMDA?
HMDA at present we have around 35, but out of that qualified will be around 15.
Okay, so
But
they
we have
are in-house,
lot of,
you are preparing master plan or you are outsourcing it?
last master plan we have outsourced to SEPT Ahmedabad, but prior to that one, all the master plans were prepared in-house.
Okay.
So I said
Apart
I
from
have
this
shown you
HMDA,
five.
sir.
Correct,
Sorry, sir.
Akhil.
Continue, sir.
Akhil, actually, sorry to interrupt. If anyone has questions, raise their hands, and the moderator will actually delegate to do that. Otherwise, there will be a lot of questions which he can moderate.
Okay, sir.
Okay, Akhil, you can continue.
Sir, I just want to continue that one. Sir, apart from HMDA, how many development authorities are there in Telangana?
We have 10.
And whether the functions of this are same or it is varying from different authorities?
More or less functions are same. We have 9 more authorities, but as I said, except Hyderabad and Warangal, which was done in 1981, the rest of the all urban development authorities are created just 5-6 years back. So they are very young. Not much activity as such, I can say, because they are still in the process of settling down. Because the staff have not been sanctioned for these UDS, new UDS. So they are still in a teething problem, I can say. But Hyderabad and Warangal, so where we have about 20-25 years back established, so they have more or less similar function.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
Hello,
Please go ahead.
sir. Can I? Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't get off. What's the role of DTCP, UDA, and local bodies? I mean, can you relate the connection between this DTCP with does DTCP have any functional correlation with this urban authority and municipal bodies?
Yeah, actually, DTCP, as I said, is overall state head. But as far as the urban development authorities is concerned, first I'll tell about UDS and DTCP. So Director of Town and Country Planning, he is an executive member in all the urban development authorities. So he is as an executive committee member. So he participates in all the board meetings and whatever the decisions taken by the that authority. So DTCP is part of the decision making process. So that is one. Day-to-day administration, I don't think DTCP has got much role in these urban development authorities. So as far as the ULBs is concerned, there are two types of ULBs. ULBs which are part of urban development authority, ULBs which are outside urban development authorities. For the ULBs which are outside urban development authority, the director of urban development authority prepares the master plan. He gives the technical guidance to the municipalities. But for the ULBs which are in UDA, again, Urban Development Authority gives them the technical guidance as such. But in our case, most of the, as far as the manpower is concerned, so most of the manpower who are working in Urban Development Authorities are from the Directorate of Development Department. So they are on deputation to the Urban Development Authorities, both in Hyderabad, Warangal, and other municipalities also. In fact, we have a town planning functional working in municipalities and municipal corporations also. So those persons also belongs to the town planning department, Directorate of Town and Planning Cadre. So one is administrative control. So other one is the technical. It's technical UDA limited role in day-to-day function, but as a decision-making process, he has got a role. In other ULBs, he has got complete technical. He has to give complete technical advice here.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
sir. You can move
If
to the next.
if no other question, I think we'll just move on to the third part, the last
Yes,
part. Yeah. This is about TDR in Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation. So I think most of you know what is the definition of TDR. I think I did not say about this one. So as far as the Hyderabad is concerned, actually we are the TDR policy as such, it is there right from 1998. But somehow it was not that accepted, or there is not much demand for TDR in those years. Till 2012 also they have revised the TDR policy, but even after that also there are not much improvement in either TDR acceptance or TDR utilization. We have, that all of us know that 2013 Land Acquisition Act has amended in 2013, old Land Acquisition Act, wherein the compensation was made double, whatever the solution which was 100% of the value. So in whatever we were giving 100 rupees as earlier compensation, that increased to 200 rupees. So this has made us really to look into the why the TDR is not working. One is that because of this new act, there is huge burden on the municipalities to acquire land. So it is almost impossible for any municipal corporation to acquire these lands at that rate because of the very meager financial resources. So then we really looked into that entire TDR policy, why people are not using it and why people are not accepting TDR. So then we made it into TDR in such a way that it's more attractive and people should opt for TDR rather than taking the cash compensation. So how we did is that in 2017 we have revised our policy, wherein we have increased the quantum of TDR which we give it from 200% to 400%. Because earlier we were giving 200% of the basic value, because since Land Acquisition Act also the compensation was doubled. So that was a logic. So we also increased the TDR quantum of TDR from 200 to 400%. So this has made a lot of difference, because people who were getting cash in the form of a cash around 200 rupees as a land compensation, so now they are getting around 260 rupees or 300 rupees by way of TDR, by way of selling TDR or the form of TDR. So that made a lot of landowners to opt for TDR. So thereby the acquisition has been made much easier for us. So in fact, this has made our acquisition of land, which I told just few slides back, that link roads. So whatever the land which was required for these link roads, 37 roads. So almost 100% of this land was acquired through TDR. Not even a single pie was spent as a cash towards the compensation, paying of compensation to these landowners. So that was a very big achievement, and it has reduced a lot of financial burden to the Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation. So what we did is that in addition to this one, simultaneously we also worked out on the way we work because there is a lot of cumbersome process earlier, like manually it has to be done. We have to verify the basic value and a lot of other things. So what we did is that we made the process of TDR, issue of TDR, utilization, everything online, and we have established a TDR bank. So in this TDR bank, suppose somebody opening of a bank account means whenever you get a TDR, so you will be given a bank account sort of a thing. So whenever you sell, so from your bank account, when you like withdrawing the money from your account. So similar sort of an activities we have developed in TDR bank. So the average time for issue of TDR has also drastically come down earlier from manual from 55 days to 15 days. And also another good thing is that citizens can view like bank statement online. You see the TDR bank statement. You can see online how much account in my account, how much TDR is balance, and how much still I have already sold it, and all those things. Then we have also had another interesting thing is about notification. So whoever wants sell their TDR or whoever wants to buy TDR, they can give a notification. It's like what is that called? There is a platform which sells used goods, so similar to that platform. So this has also helped basically it increases transparency, and also it gives an access to the people who are really in need of TDR and people who wants to sell it off. As I said, there are four or five modules the TDR bank. One is TDR issuance of TDR. Then we have sale and transfer, and the third is TDR utilization. And what we have to do is that there are a lot of already existing TDRs which have already been there, which have been digitized for actually get to TDR bank. Suppose I have a manual certificate which was issued about 5 years back. So now I want to utilize the TDR. So unless I digitize this manual certificate, I will not be allowed to sell or utilize my TDR. So we made it mandatory that everybody will come for the digitalization, and the transactions will happen only through TDR bank. No other means of transaction will happen. So TDR trading, anybody can buy and sell it. So if I have 100 rupees of TDR, so I can sell 20 rupees and I can keep remain 80 rupees with me. Or there is no time limit also as such for holding it or for selling it. And whatever the sale and transfer for authentication, we use the Aadhaar authentication. So whenever somebody logins into, so the OTP will be sent to the phone number which has been attached to that particular Aadhaar card. So that we authenticate the person who is actually operating the TDR bank system. So we also have online billing permission system, what we call it as a Telangana State Billing Permission System based on self-certification, TSB path. So this TDR bank utilization is also linked with that online billing permission system. So whoever wants to utilize the TDR, so he has to just enter the TDR number from whom he is buying it. So once the application is processed and in the final stages, so a OTP will be sent to the TDR holder. So please give your consent saying that so that your TDR, whatever you want to sell, so that TDR portion will be deducted from that TDR holder and will be attached to that billing permission applicant. So this is also has been made very successful, and it has been functioning very well. And this has made really the adaptability of the TDR much faster than we expected, and the seamless transfer of the entire operations. So right from issue to the utilization, I think that also helped the citizens to appreciate that TDR will be useful rather than the cash. As far as the statistics concerned, we have around 1,923 TDR certificates we have issued so far. So out of that, 113 is for widening of nalas. I said nala widening is also one of the work. I said 388 are missing slip roads. As I said, 37 slip roads which we have developed. So all that portion we have got it through TDR only. And widening of roads, we also take up a lot of widening, around 842 TDR certificates. Then also beautification of tanks and levels. A lot of these tank areas around those areas, low-lying areas where the ownership is private, there also we acquired those lands using TDR and use that land for beautification of the land, a tank or lake, or creation of some recreational facilities. So with this 1,923 TDR certificates, we acquired around 812 acres of land. The value of that land is, if we want to acquire this land as per Land Acquisition Act, we would have spent around 4,832 crores of amount. So in fact, we have saved so much amount by acquiring these TDRs. So these are the new roads, as I said, new slip roads, link roads, which we have developed using TDRs. And Niti Aayog has also, in fact, appreciated the effort of this online TDR bank. In fact, it is identified as one of the best practice, and they have advised all the state governments to adopt that TDR bank. I think this is about the online TDR bank. But whoever the states, if the Kerala wants to go into the online system, so as I said earlier, there are two things which you have to look into. One is that the manual things, you have to stop the manual issue of records. So you cannot run both manual and online systems together. Then it will create a lot of issues. The second one is that you should make mandatory that whenever they want to use it, the TDR certificate, you should make it mandatory that they should come into the digital platform. Then third thing is that the TDR certificates, list of manual certificates, you have to enlist and close it before you go getting into the digital certificate, so that no manipulation of manual records will happen. I think these are the 2-3 things which we have to. So thank you very much. Thank you the Center for Environmental Efficiency and the Kerala Regional Chapter Institute of Town Planners India for giving me an opportunity to present whatever we have done in HMD and GHMC, but still a lot more to do, and we want to learn a lot of things from Kerala, and I think also things which we are doing very well. So maybe next time we will like to listen from Rajesh ji or someone from your Kerala chapter. So what are the best practices which Kerala is adapting, and so that we can also adapt those things. So thank you very much.
Yes, Rajesh, you can ask any questions.
Yeah. Thank you. It was a very good presentation, and I appreciate May Matthew also, who have been institutional in bringing you to give a lecture, and we are all happy about to hear the different, actually the different way in which the master plans are prepared, and then how it is getting implemented. So we have actually, when you talk about the implementation part or the sanctioning part of the master plan, it's I find a little more easy way of doing is when you have a development authority, you have a little more strong will, and a lot of projects can also get implemented. But when you take about a democratic process, it is a little tough for us to go behind each local body to make them convinced about these plans. And when we are talking about the risk-informed master plans also, we have been doing it for 2-3 municipalities, but we have to go through that democratic process, convince them that they are under risk and how they have to do, what are the mitigation measures that they have to take, in addition to the master plan projects and all that. I really appreciate, thanks a lot for the, as a part of the Kerala chapter chairman, I thank a lot for the Devendra Reddy for giving this good presentation to all of us. It was an eye-opener for some of the aspects. I think the floor is open for some questions. Thank you.
So I have a question. Very surprising to see the implementation of TDR and successful implementation of TDR in Telangana. So actually, Telangana is having a very high rank in ease of doing business. Even recently, there was some complaints that Telangana, some of our industrialists in Kerala are being attracted to Telangana due to the ease of doing business. So, and when I explored this with my friends in Telangana, they told me that regarding the TS bypass system, which has made a radical change in the urban development process in Telangana. So in that, this development permission, TDR, everything is under one system.
Yes. Yeah.
So even building permit also in the same system.
Yeah.
And
That's
it is
what I said.
statewide.
That
It is
TDR
statewide.
bank is integrated. TDR bank is integrated with the TSB pass system.
Okay, so it is statewide.
Yeah, statewide.
Okay.
No, at present TDR it's popular only in Hyderabad and HMD area. That
Okay.
Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation. It's not that popular in municipalities, district municipalities. It's picking up, but it will take some time.
Thank you.
It's basically what
I
happened.
guess
TDR is also like you have a supply and demand. So wherever there is a demand for utilization of TDR, then you will have people will come forward. Suppose if you don't have a demand, then it's very difficult. Like for a smaller municipalities, corporations, maybe there may not be much demand for TDR at this stage, but maybe over a period of time, I think it should go.
They
Hello,
know the benefit when they will come for that.
hello,
Yes,
I have
yes.
certain clarifications regarding TDR. Was there a TDR Act in the state to implement for the implementation of TDR? How did the people
there
get,
is
got the confidence in the beginning? One question. Second is, was sending and receiving areas are published by the corporation?
Pardon?
Third question is whether TDR was happening within the municipal corporation only or from outside also. And fourth is, I have heard about in Hyderabad there's something known as unlimited FAR. See, if there is something like that, I would like to hear about it. I don't know whether you got all the points because sometimes the time is exceeding, but I want to know all these things because I am really interested. I'm interested in TDR.
No, I think I'll quickly answer these things. One is the TDR Act. We don't have any TDR Act as such. So
Yes.
it's basically building rules only. As a part of building rules, it was mentioned. But recently we have enacted new municipal act. In that we have made provision. We have included the provision of the TDR. So then initially there was a lot of reluctance, as you said. So it takes when like 2017 when we have announced the new policy. So we could. It took us almost for 6 months to 1 year really to tell the people that what is the benefit. Is ultimately the question is about the amount, how much amount they are going to get through TDR. So that will depend upon the success. If the amount is more than the amount which you are getting under the Land Acquisition Act, then it will be people will take. Because we cannot make it TDR as a mandatory. TDR is only optional. So we can only request the citizens to opt for TDR, but we cannot force them. So we could able to successfully establish that you are going to get more money than the land acquisition amount. So maybe once few people started getting it, then there is a confidence building. So then people started coming and doing it. Then area you have asked about TDR. Yes, at present the TDR is you can use it anywhere in Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority area. So anywhere across the HMD area, it can be transferable right from one place to other place. Unlimited FSI, yes, I think both Telangana and Andhra states have got this unlimited FSI. In fact, when we started this TDR policy, it has been very, very difficult for us to how to create demand for TDR when there is an unlimited FSI. Because most of the states where there is an FSI, they are giving additional FSI using the TDR. So what we did is that we have certain height restrictions in certain cases. So There we have increased the height. We allow the additional 2 floors with TDR. So I'll give you one example. So you have in some land where abutting road width is only 80 feet. 80 feet means 24 meters road is there. So when you have a 1 acre of land, when you have 24 meters road, you are eligible for 15 floors. You cannot construct more than that. So what we did is that using the TDR, you can go up to 2 floors extra. So 15 plus 2, 2. So like that, we have wherever there are certain height restrictions. So there we allow the additional floors so that people can use the utilization. But again, I am saying wherever there is an FSI, that FSI will be a really good tool for to create a demand for TDR. But unfortunately, since we don't have an FSI, so we try to create a demand for TDR through these other benefits. I think these are the 3, 4 I have listed. I don't know if anything I have missed.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
You have answered all questions. Very nice. Excellent.
Any more?
Yeah, actually, initially you have introduced the TDR policy, right?
Yes.
Thereafter, it was regulated the rules.
No, it's as a part of rules only policy. There is no separate policy as such. So we have issued as a part of building rules only.
Okay.
I mentioned as a policy, but really it's not a policy.
Yeah.
It's as a part of building rules.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Any more questions?
Karima, please go ahead.
Mary Madam was raised. She raised her hand. Madam, you want to ask some question? It's
You're
not
muted.
audible. Muted.
Unmute.
She's telling something, but we cannot hear. Let me try to contact her.
Meanwhile, I can just ask sir one question. So
Go ahead.
Sir, like in Andhra, it is the TDR certificate can be utilized across the Andhra state. I think so. But in Telangana, I think it is not. I think in situ or it is within the municipal area, not beyond that one. You cannot use it in entire state. Like sir.
Yeah. In Telangana, we didn't have the entire state. At present, it is within the municipal area only. But as far as the Hyderabad is concerned, it can be used anywhere in Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority area. So we don't have across the state utilization.
Okay, sir.
Mary Ma'am, please go ahead. Please unmute yourself. You weren't audible before. Ma'am, you're still muted. You're not audible to us.
Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
The Development Authority area for Hyderabad Development Authority, how have you delineated such a huge area? On what basis? Can you hear that?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't get it, madam. What is that?
The delineation of the Hyderabad Development Authority area,
Okay.
on what basis could you do that? Like it's a large area.
Yeah.
So
It's around 7,257 square kilometers. Yeah.
how does it,
So-
how do you delineate that?
Actually, I think while delineating, actually, as far as the act is concerned, there are no specific clauses or provisions where you have to delineate like this. There are no provisions like that. But however, Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority, when they have delineated this area, they have taken 2-3 parameters. One is basically the economic activity surrounding Hyderabad. So you have a lot of these industrial clusters which are happening. So they went up to that industrial clusters and made it as a part of the Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority. That is one consideration they have made it. Then other one is that there is a proposal for whatever this outer ring road, what we call it as an outer ring road. So they have taken that 5 kilometers outside the outer ring road as an influence area. And up to that area, they have taken it as a Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority area.
Yeah, but in Kerala, we find it very difficult to have a consensus on all this. That is why. It's different from the state.
In Telangana, actually, people want their area to be added to the Urban Development Authority jurisdiction. Because it's much more people, they think that their value of the land will go up and more development will come. So they're more happy. They demand for that actually.
Yeah, but here the people maybe I don't know what the people think, but the government, they are not willing for. They are not flexible at all. They'll say that okay, it's district planning is okay. That way. We have that problem. Okay, it's very appreciable your developments there in Hyderabad. Thank you, sir.
Do we have any other questions?
No.
Okay,
That's all.
Devika,
Okay.
So if there is no further question, I think we can wind up this session.
All right. Thank you, sir, for your presentation. Your comments on the 74th CAA implementation have been very insightful. Thank you also for a detailed review of the different projects that are on the anvil in Hyderabad. I particularly enjoyed projects showcased on urban flooding, as it is extremely pertinent for Kerala's urban scenario as well. Finally, transferable development rights have largely been a non-starter in Kerala state. It was greatly useful to see the TDR mechanism from behind the scenes. Thank you all for your participation and engagement with today's knowledge sharing session. I call upon Srimati Raji SS, Secretary, Institute of Town Planners India, Kerala Regional Chapter, to formally propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you. Good evening. I would like to accepting the invitation and giving us a picture of the development that is happening in Telangana. And next, I'd like to thank Vinod sir, town planner, for moderating the session, planning, making the impact session active. I would like to thank him who took the initiative ITPKRC joined with have in the state where the urban and the knowledge sharing in the sector of urban planning between the states made possible. Finally, I thank all participants, including our senior ITPK members, everyone, other planners who had and make this event a successful one. Thank you all. Have a nice night.
Thank you.
Good night.